Getting thick requires years under the barbell. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. But a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, be greatly appreciated. If you aren't following me or subscribed, please do so. And if you guys would, please drop me a comment down under the video. I would appreciate that so much. Thank you. This is something I kind of bring up with topics. I've told guys if they're just trying to look big, quickly, reasonably aesthetic, all that stuff. I always tell guys things like, yeah, just really, really work on your shoulders, work on your lats. It's what will quickly give you the appearance of a more aesthetic look, like someone who works out, because the wider shoulders, right? Just having wider shoulders, and that comes from both delts, comes from having lats. So any of that will spread everything out, make you look wider. And that's also when guys get leaner, which is what will give, guys who are not big yet, it's what will give you that more aesthetic look. And this has always been good advice. This is kind of the Hollywood advice. This is one of the things they do with actors. They really come in and hammer that stuff. Like I've almost seen that always when you really look at when it gets released, what a lot of these actors do. They just have them do big, heavy compounds, squat, bench, deadlift, dips, all that stuff, right? And then they just hammer the heck out of their shoulders and stuff. Like they go really hard in the shoulders and then the lats. Because it works. And so, we'll see them doing just big compounds, but then you'll look at their other stuff. Like, man, they have them isolating all three heads of the delt. They're not isolating a lot of the other stuff. What are they doing? And they're having them just push that stuff. Why? Because, it will make them have that look quickly. But there's a whole different ballgame to being thick. Really thick to where when you are walking down the street, people know that you are big, right? That look front to back. Like, so some of this, like when you guys will see me turn or whatever, I'm thick front to back. That is something that takes a long, long time, because for that to occur, you have to gain a lot of these various support muscles. You have to have pecs, you have to have mid traps, upper traps, rhomboids, like all these other muscles. You can't just have a wide back and be thick, right? You can't just have wide delts and be thick. Like, so to be thick, you have to have all those go muscles. You have to have hamstrings, right? So when you turn to the side, your legs look bigger, right? They can look big from the front with quads. Like wide shoulders and some lats will make you look wide from the front. But that thickness, it is something that takes years to develop, and it also takes a lot more muscle. Again, as long as you're lean, you can have a certain look really easy. And again, I tell guys that, like, if you just want to quickly just kind of get that look you guys are looking for, just get real lean. Obviously work everything. You want to work every muscle in your body. Don't leave anything untrained, but just really double down on things like pull-ups for your lats and just do lots and lots and lots of delt work, right? Because it works. You'll look wide. Okay, you'll look wide up top. You'll have the V taper. You'll have the wide shoulders. Like, you'll look quickly like someone who works out. Like, people, oh yeah, that guy's in shape, he lifts, he's got to look at the wide shoulders, right? People can identify it. But you're not going to look really big and thick. That front to back, that comes from years under the barbell, okay? Hamstrings, traps, forearms. Because having a wide back is not the same as a thick back. And the thicker your back is, the more everything pulls back, the more the chest sticks up, right? So then obviously you need pecs and everything too. So a totally different. So a lot of those guys who have less time in the game, when they turn to the side, you can see the difference, and they still look good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they don't have nice physiques. I'm not saying they don't look good. And I'm in no way belittling or making fun of, right? This is not what this is about. None of us are trying to make fun of anyone, but we are talking about that there's a difference. And you can see the difference when dudes are walking down the street. When somebody is strong because they have that thick look. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, man, they got traps, they got hamstrings, the power look. And all serious bodybuilders have that too, right? Because they all have to be big. So since everything is big, they're going to have thickness also. But it takes time. And there's a big difference between being able to create an illusion by focusing on certain areas and making sure that they grow really quickly and just getting lean. Because again, you can create an illusion real quick. You get a small waist, you get a V taper, and you get wide shoulders. right? You're going to have the illusion in terms of proportion of you're going to look good, honestly. Like realistically for the younger guys, that's how that you're going to look good. Like people are going to look at you and be like, he's got good physique, right? They're going to say that. Girls are going to notice. The other dudes are going to notice. People will notice, right? That's what you view as the guy's in shape. The guy works out, and they know it instantly. If you have the V taper going, so the shoulder to waist ratio. But nobody's looking at that and going, oh man, that guy's big when they see you in person. It's that thickness, that density. And because those are bigger muscles, they take a long time to really fill out. Because as I've said before, you have to have traps, and I mean your whole trap. Rhomboids, hamstrings. How do we build all that stuff? To deadlifts, good mornings, RDLs, rows, pull-ups, but usually tons and tons of rows. Right? There's a lot more that goes into that than just getting a nice V-taper. So it's something that takes time. It takes time. And it almost always requires you to be strong. Because again, when we think of thickness versus just so that's a perfect example of a thick Herculean look versus, the more Apollyon aesthetic look, right? If you got good genes for the aesthetics, you can attain that pretty quickly. And we all know it. We all see it. We've seen it happen many times. But the more Herculean look is really the power look, right? It's the power look. It's the strength look. But again, I do point out that is also required to be an open bodybuilder. You have to still have that look anyways for that because they have to be big everywhere. And if you're big everywhere, you're obviously going to be big in the power muscles that make you look thick. And you're going to be big in all those muscles that make them look aesthetic. They're going to be big everywhere. They're called pro bodybuilders. But always reminding guys, this is not something you will reach in a short amount of time to where you are really filling out a shirt, okay? Where you're really filling out the shirt. That's thickness, and it takes time to get there, and it takes a lot of weight. You probably have to be strong. Most guys who are going to get there, they're doing some heavy deadlifting, a lot of heavy rows, because all those go muscles have to be built. The stuff on the backside of the body. So that when you turn to the side, you don't disappear. Because we see that with the other look too. You can always tell those slimmer guys, it's not because they're skinny, you're thinking of a slim. No, they just haven't built those muscles yet. So they look nice and wide. You have V-taper, wide shoulders from the front. They look great, right? But they turn to the side and they disappear. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just means they're a short timer in the game with a lot of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone starts somewhere. Everyone starts somewhere. And just keep moving forward, guys. So again, if you're trying to get thick and have more of a power look, just understand it's going to take a lot longer. And it's that simple.